Hello you guys, welcome to a new vlog. If it's your first time here, you're watching Booked on Charity. I post bookish content, reading vlogs, everything that just surrounds books, and it's no different in this video. We just moved into a new space and I need to rearrange my bookshelf. So if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I've got another one of these and it's currently sitting behind you guys, and I've been toying around trying to figure out how I want to arrange my bookshelves this time around. In my previous apartment, I had my bookshelves arranged in alphabetical order, but also according to genre, and it made it so easy to like find all of my books and everything I want to read, and everything was just like right there. But then I'm also missing my rainbow shelves, so I'm still on the fence. One thing I know for sure is that this here bookshelf is going to be my fantasy and sci-fi bookshelves, and more specifically adult fantasy and sci-fi bookshelf. And then from the one that's kind of like behind you guys, I'll have one column again one column that is YA and children's books. So I've got a lot of middle grade books that I read, so I'll have that on one column. And then I'll have my mysteries and thrillers, which I don't have a lot of. I feel like my mysteries and thrillers will maybe sit with all of my literary fiction. I'll figure out how to sort that out. And then the last column will have all of my African literature, because I've got also a lot of those. But the main focus for today, or at least for this here portion of this video, because I feel like it's gonna take me a couple of days to get all of my shelves sorted out. I'm not going to be rushing myself to get this all done in one day. I still have work, so I'm literally starting this during my lunch hour. So there's no way that I'm gonna get this done in an hour, and by the time after work comes, we've got like dinners we need to sort out, we've got homework we need to sort out, evening routine. So yeah, I don't know, but you'll see me in different outfits trying to sort out my shelves. But yeah, let's get to this journey. So like I said, all of this will be my fantasy sci-fi, which is the biggest genre of books that I own, because I primarily read fantasy and sci-fi, and I need them to have their own special place. Okay, I'm even like, I want to print out some labels to actually say fantasy sci-fi on top, like they do in the library and bookshops. And I want to say like YA/children, and I want to say fiction, which then will include mysteries, thrillers, literary fiction, all that, translated works, because Katleho is here with some, she added, I mean, I already had one or two, so, and I need to read them soon. So she had given me this a while back. It is a translated works. I think, where is the author from? Oh, this is Japan. So this was first published in Japan. So yes, so it was originally published in Japanese, and this one is called Sweet Bean Taste. I really love this cover though, like I love this pastels. And then we've got the recent ones that she gave to me. We've got Burnt Sugar, and this is by Avni Doshi. And this one, let me see, she's currently based in Dubai, South Asia. I want to see first publications, if they do tell us. First published in July 2020. Burnt Sugar is her first novel. It is also published in India under the title Girl in White Cotton, where it been longlisted for the Tata Literature Live First Book Award. Nice. Okay, so this one, Indian inspired. I don't know, maybe this one is just literary, I'm not sure. And then I've got Expectation, and this one is by Anna Hope. So these are the books that will go into the fiction section of my home library. We love that. And I've also got but I've already talked about the books that's on my book cart, so I'll do a quick scroll through when I wrap up the video. But my book cart, which currently sits next to my work desk, has all of the books that I want to read in the next couple of months. So essentially my TBR is sitting on there, although I do have also a huge TBR on my shelves because I have not read most of my books, and I am going to guess and say that I have probably 500 books in this house. We don't know, but we'll see, because another part of what I want to get done here is catalog all of my books, all of them. So yeah, first step is going to be to clear out all of the books from the shelf. I don't know if I should catalog them as I clear them. I am currently cataloging my books on the Storygraph app. So if you use the Storygraph app, it would be all the books that are featured in the to read pile. Let me see if I can show you this. If it focuses. Okay, so you see that section, the section that says to read pile. So if you open on there, so I've went through and started cataloging all the books that I own physically and I have not yet read. This will, one, give me a view of all the books that I own physically that still need to be read, and I just want to have somewhere to be able to track it. So yeah, so right now I've got 191 books. I see there's a book that got loaded here and it was an ebook, so it should not be here. It should not be here. I just removed it. But yes, I want to use this pile this list to randomize like my book selections. Because you can organize it by the author's name, you can organize it by page numbers, you can organize it by publication dates and by the title name. And this makes it very easy when I'm doing like TBR videos and there's like fun prompts where it's like a book published between this year and this year, or the oldest book you own, things like that. So I can easily come on my Storygraph and find that option. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but I'm a person who thrives when there's order. Okay, I thrive of making lists. I love making lists and it gives me so much joy to be able to tick off those lists. So I'm not so much like afraid or nervous to see how many books I have on my shelves, books that I own that I have not read yet. I actually want to know. I want that realistic view of what I've got going on my shelves, and I'm thinking that as I pack, maybe I will identify books that are on here that should not be here anymore, books that I need to give away to my local library, you know, things like that. So yeah, right now I think that I'm going to figure out a space somewhere on the floor to start doing stacks. I'm going to first stack all the books according to genre because that's how they will primarily be stored, and then after separating them into genres, I will then separate them in the way that I want to pack them. I really do think I want rainbow shelves. I really love how it looks as a background on my videos. So I think we're gonna go to rainbow shelves, you guys. I really think we're gonna go to rainbow shelves. Okay, enough talking, let's get started. I'm gonna have an audiobook. Should I have an audiobook or should I watch a YouTube video? I feel like I might want to do an audiobook. I am currently listening to the audiobook of Iron Gold by Piers Brown. So yeah, so let's do that. Ooh, what I like as well, if you're like too lazy to type out all the stuff, Storygraph has a barcode scanner. We can scan the barcode And then after scanning the barcode, like for example, this book does not exist, so I can have an option to add it, but I feel like this one exists. Maybe this ISBN is not the one. Yeah, this ISBN is not the correct one, but I'm looking for The Keeper of Night. Let's see. By Kylie Lee Baker. I picked this up from an exclusive books sale last year, I think, and I'm like, okay, we've got a woman with a long sword. She looks badass, and it says death is her destiny. Doesn't that sound like a nice time? I don't even know why I haven't read this book. I don't know. You see, this is why you need to rearrange your bookshelves, children, so that you can find amazing books again to read, because I feel like this would be good. Hold on, I'm like distracted now. I want to see what the... Okay, so the hardback is just a plain hardback. I thought it would have something special, but... And this is the author. This is the author, Kylie Lee Baker. Grew up in Boston and has since lived in Atlanta, Salamanca, and in Seoul. Her writing is informed by her heritage, Japanese, Chinese, and Irish, as well as her experiences living abroad as both a student and a teacher. She has a BA in creative writing and Spanish from Emory University and is currently pursuing a Master of Library and Information Science degree at Simon's University. In her free time, she watches horror movies, plays the cello, and bakes too many cookies. The Keeper of Night is her debut novel. Nice, okay. Pile number one. Okay people, we've got a little bit of progress. We've done the whites. There is a few more that's on my book card, but I'll figure it out when I've read the books and I need space. We'll figure it out. And then we transition to kind of like an off-white, some yellow browns, lightish browns, because I don't know what to do with this section. Like, let me bring it closer. Look at these colors, these ones. They're just a little bit weird. And there aren't a lot of oranges in fantasy and sci-fi. I've got tons and tons of black. But like, this section here, I don't know what to do with it. And then we transition. This to me looked like a bit orange, which is why I have it here. I know it has some blues, but I'm focusing more on the top color if there are multiple colors in the spine, I guess, except for that. Don't get technical with me now. And then a little bit more to the pinks, and then reds, and then I've got one of my favorites, Crescent City, over there. And then down here is where I'm busy with. This is kind of like the last of the reds. This is a brown. Like, this is a brown. What do I do with this? This is the only brown book I have. So I feel like maybe it makes sense here, because I don't know where else to put it, because I want to get started with my greens, and I've just got them set up here on the side while I collect all the greens that I have around the house. So I keep moving to the other shelf to find all my new adult slash adult fantasy sci-fi books, which I think I've got everything. Oh, not yet. And then after kind of like putting together books that belong together, then I start logging. And as I talk, you see, I'm finding books. I feel like this is a sci-fi, I believe. It's by a South African author, very pink in the front, but we are looking at this here. Do you see blue? More blue than green? Or do you see more green than blue? I don't know, I'm deciding that I'm seeing more green. Let's see. See, when you put it next to the other books, it looks more blue to my eyes. You guys can't really see, but then it fits so nicely with this one. I feel like it would be a good transition book, so I would probably then, oh sorry, no, it was the right way around. At the end of my greens, use this to kind of transition into blues. I feel like, or do I do it the other way around, like this, because this is a much brighter blue. No! My book just fell. Oh, it's gonna bend. Oh, it's gonna bend. Stay focused. Stay there, please. It's not broken. It's not torn. But yeah, I don't know what to do with these two. Like, which one should come first? I feel like maybe because this one has a bit more green, then I should do this. And then this light blue one kind of brings in the transition of the blue books. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Siege and Storm, where would you fit? Does this make sense? Does it? You're not really green, but you're just like a grayish blue. But I feel like I want to keep it with the greens. Does this make sense also? I don't know. I feel like this section of the greens, I feel like that makes sense. And you see this book here, it looks green on the camera, but it's blue. I think it's blue. Don't quote me on colors. But yeah, this is how I'm gonna now continue with my packing. I am going to, so after I do a section, and then I go on my story graph, and then I load all of the books that's on here that I have not read yet. I think that I'm gonna run out of space by the time I get to the blacks, because I'm doing everything vertically right now, which I think is also fine, because this is probably gonna be mainly the view that people see when I'm recording my videos. And then the blacks at the bottom row will get stacked up horizontally, because I do know for a fact that I don't have enough space to house all of my books. And if you can have a look at the bottom, you see this pile right here. I'm still trying to organize. So guys, we got a lot to do. We've got a lot to do, but yeah, I'm gonna start putting together my blues and seeing which ones work. Oopsie. Good together. I think the blacks will be probably the easiest. Well, this looks more like a purple. Oh, that's about to fall. Oh gosh. I feel like, you see, this is also almost like a transition to blue. It has that little brown. I don't know, man. I don't know. Shijindu? I think those are all. Let me just see, maybe because it's a darker blue, let me put it to the end. We've got The House in the Cerulean Sea. We've got Sister Song. I should put it like that. Oh, let's do it like that. We've got House of Sky and Breath. We've got Battle Drum. And then we've got The Three Body Problem. I really need to read The Three Body Problem like very soon, because I've watched the Netflix TV series. I absolutely love it. And now, see, I forgot about that pile. Goodness me, I need to shift some stuff. I forgot about the pile that I started with down here. Oh, Lord. Check. See, this one needs to fit in here somewhere. Check the pink. Check the pink. This has to fit upstairs somewhere. So, see what I mean? Unless I've got this as kind of like a front. I need to find a nice place. And then this one could sit like that if it doesn't fall. But I need to squeeze in this book somewhere in between. And then at the same time, I've got Marlon James. I really need to get into this as well. So something needs to shift. Something needs to shift because I need to get Marlon James there. Okay, so I've got a blue. This one must fit in there somewhere. See, a bunch of greens. I got a bunch of greens that need to fit, so things need to definitely shift. More greens. Oh, and a lot more greens. So I need to find space to squeeze in all these green books, which they were sitting together. Somehow I forgot about them because they were sitting over there on the floor, which means I need to clear this shelf right here so that I can be able to shift everything this way. So let's give it a bit of a wipe. Good morning. We've got a cup of coffee. I'm working from home today, so which makes it a great day for me to continue with this bookshelf. It looks so small when I'm this far away from it. Should we get closer? Should we? I need to move this chair out of the way. Let's see. Should we get closer, people? Is that better? Is that what? Do you think that's better? But bad accent aside, we've done a lot of packing, okay, since the last time I was filming, which was 2 days ago. I did say this is gonna take like run over a couple of days because I don't have the capacity to do it the whole day. So this is why we are in a different outfit. I'm in my gym gear. Let me show you. I really love this. I got this from Shein a month ago. So this is the gym gear. This is one of my favorites, the blue one. this is what it looks like, and I really like it. It's very comfortable. I'm wearing this now, like I just took a shower, but I'm wearing this right now because I want to go to gym later, and I haven't been to gym in 2 weeks. Like ever since we moved, I haven't been to gym, and this is kind of like my motivation to go. Plus I lost 2 kgs since we started this gym journey, because when I started I was over maybe like 83.5, and this morning I'm sitting at like 81 point something, 0.7, and I'm just like, what? Because you know when you look in the mirror and you can see that something's changing, but just like I'm not sure. Anyway, back to the books. Why am I rambling about gym? I've packed up quite a bit. I've actually finished packing up all of my fantasy sci-fi, adult fantasy sci-fi, and guess what? I've got space. Let me move you down so you can see. A bit of an update. So we've done all the purples this side. Well, lost of the blues, and then we got the purples, and then we've got more purples here. Got purples. These to me look like a very dark purple, almost bordering on black, but I'm choosing to let them be with the purples. And then I started on the grays. Okay, some grays. This one is a darker gray, but I had space only for like a little tiny book, so that's why I have it there. And then more grays on this side, and then I've got The Serpent and the Wings of Night as my feature book for this shelf. We've got some browns. Sarah J Maas is like more black and a bit of reddish, but this red looks, I feel, a bit brown, so I feel like it matches nicely here. And then we get into the blacks. Maybe I should move this one. This black is kind of bluish. I don't know. It's a weird black. But we've got Book of Night, Only a Monster, and then we've got Silver in the Bone. George R.R. Martin's. I am collecting a song. What is the name of the series? Because the name of the series is not called Game of Thrones. That's the name of the TV series, but this is A Song of Fire and Ice. There we go. So we've got that. We've got a couple of black books down there. We've got a couple of black books this side as well. And then right there at the bottom is where all my sci-fi fantasy ends. These 2 shelves I need to clear out. I think I'm gonna be using them to store all my puzzles and games and all the fun stuff. Currently they're sitting like on top of the bookshelf, but I'm gonna pack them there and see if I've got space. Alternatively, I was gonna put all the translated works there, and maybe some fiction or like a small genre like classics. I don't have a lot of classics, so that is an option to put over there, but we'll see. So yeah, this is the update for now. I definitely need to get some decorative pieces for the bookshelf. I feel like I need to get some fake flowers that could run down the bookshelf. I really like that look. I'm thinking of moving my snake plant from that corner. I was gonna take it to the bedroom, but I feel like maybe it would look nice here next to the bookshelf, so I can have a bit of green, because there's a lot of green happening on that bookshelf behind you. But yeah, this is what it looks like. My fantasy is complete. I do have some on my book cart, which I will pack with you guys as well a little bit later. And I still have a bunch of books on the floor that I've grouped together that I need to, I need to start working on the other shelf today. So yeah, we still have a bit of shelf work to do, but let's organize together, and I'm looking forward to the end result and having all of my books finding a place to live. Hello, and we're done. Okay, first up, let's maybe take a up and down view, a full view of the bookshelf, and then I'll do a close up and show you what we've got. So this whole shelf is my fantasy sci-fi shelf. It's more specifically adult fantasy sci-fi. If you remember, I did have space down there, so I used it to put some graphic novels and my middle grades because I didn't have space on the other shelf. I had initially put all my puzzles and games and things like that, but that has moved up there until I find more space. But yeah, this is all the adult fantasy sci-fi. The YA is sitting on another shelf. So I've organized this in rainbow colors, but I feel like it doesn't even look rainbow because I don't have a lot of, like, there's a lot of black. When I included all the other genres in my rainbow colors, then you could properly see the rainbow colors, but it's fine, I don't mind. So we've got our whites here. So we've got Brandon Sanderson, which I'm still collecting, and I'm gonna have these two books on my shelf. I still need to collect the rest. We've got The Poppy War, which is one of my all-time favorites, fantasy books, fantasy series, and it's the series that I will continue to reread over years. I've read this, I think, have I read it 3 times? Twice for sure. I feel like one of the times I was listening to the audiobook with my husband because he got interested in the story. And then we've got Holly Black, which I have not read from yet, and then Raven Kennedy, and then we move on to kind of like golds and yellows, yellows and oranges is what I thought this shelf would be, but as you can see, I don't have a lot of those colors, so it's looking a little bit like mishmash, but it's all good. We've got a favorite, Piers Brown, over there, and we love it. So I've got this Chains of Thorns by Cassandra Clare because I really love these covers. They're so pretty, so they're nice to like face out. And then we've got our pinks. Also got the daughter of Dr. Moreau, and we've got a bunch of pinks that move on to reds. We've got some Sarah J Maas there. We love Sarah J Maas in this house. I need to go back to Samantha Shannon and read The Bone Season because I only read book 1 and I was missing book 2 for the longest time, so I didn't complete, but now I've got book 2 and I haven't even read it, so I need to go back to reread book 1 and probably reread the prequel as well. And then we move over to more reds, and we've got a favorite, fun facing, absolutely love this cover as well, Crescent City, book 1. We've got a bunch of reds, and then we move on to the greens. So let's see what's behind here. I haven't read most of these books. No, I lie, I haven't read any of these books. Ooh, child. Okay, this is the only book I've read from this shelf. And then we've got our greens. Excited to be picking up another N.K. Jemisin. I recently finished the Broken Earth trilogy. Love it. So I want to start with The City Came Soon. I need to go back to Lee Bardugo on this one. A Court of Mist and Fury is definitely my favorite book in the ACOTAR series. Favorite. Love, love, love this. I haven't read Wolf Song yet, which is Steeped in Gold. I was really excited about it. It has a very stunning cover. I mean, look at this, but it didn't get that many like great reviews, so it made me really nervous to pick it up and I haven't done so, but I still want to pick it up. We've got In the Lives of Puppets, which I think it was just so nice and cozy and fun and funny. Like, I love TJ Klune. Haven't read anything else on the shelf. We've got another Cassandra Clare. Like I said, I absolutely love these covers. They're so stunning. I think out of all of them, this is definitely my favorite. Maybe because it's the first one I got and it's in hardcover, I don't know, but this Chain of Gold, so pretty. I still need to get into the series. And then we've got the 5th season, which is a favorite that I've read. That is the only, and Morning Star, as well as The House on the Cerulean Sea. 5-star read, love it. I can't wait to read the next book. So yeah, we've got a Chain of Gold over there. We've got some blues here. So I did say that I read The Bone Season. Need to go back to it. We've got Crescent City #2. I need to read Shijin Liu's 3-Body Problem. I watched the TV series on Netflix. Absolutely enjoyed it, so I can't wait to get into the series. I have not read anything else on the shelf. I did start Gods of Jade and Shadow at some point, but I think I was not like invested in the story at the time, so I didn't continue, but I want to go back and reread. And then we've got The Atlas Complex as our front-facing book because it's pretty. I loved book 1. I haven't yet read book 2 and 3, but I want to have a vlog where I'm binging the series, so can't wait for that. Everything else behind, the only books I've read are these 2 at the end. I've recently finished The Ashes and the Star Cursed King. I think I gave 4 stars. And I've got Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I'm still busy with that series. And then on to the grays. The only gray I've read from here would be A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I have read The Serpent of the Wings of Night. I absolutely enjoyed this one. I love the vampire representation in here. And then we've got some browns, reds-ish, more browns I feel, going into black. That's book 3 of Crescent City, which it was okay, but it was not what I expected, so I was a little bit disappointed with the ending. And then we've got Only a Monster, Silver in the Bone, which I haven't read yet. On to more black books. We've got a whole bunch of George R.R. Martin. I'm still collecting these because at some point I want to binge read the whole series. I've rewatched the whole of Game of Thrones earlier in the year and it made me want to read it so bad. So yeah, I still need to read all of these. Let me move. These are books that belong to my friends. And then we've got a bunch of books here. The only ones I've read, we've got 3. We've got To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, which is a book that I definitely have to reread this December. Absolutely loved this one. It was just so good, and I feel like it was my first intro into sci-fi, and I don't know how I went into such a chunky book, but it was so good, and the audiobook as well just made it better. The Starless Sea, also another one that I want to reread in December. Love this one, but I need to go back to pick up some of the lost pieces along the way because it is one that is kind of like mind-bending. And then the Atlas 6, definitely need to reread so that I can complete the series. Loved Fourth Wing as well. I didn't realize that I had Fourth Wing here. Loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars. I read this so quickly. It was just utterly enjoyable. And then we've got some Greek mythology with Ariadne and Electra. I am missing the 3rd one. I forgot the name. And then we've got Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, which I've read. I've read Raven Kennedy's book 1 and 2 from the Gilded Prisoner series. The Book of Azrael, I soft DNF'd because I was not really feeling it at the time, and the audiobook was really ruining the experience for me, so I want to go back but read it with my eyes. Ninth House as well, I started soft DNF because I was not feeling it in the moment, so I need to go back. Jade Legacy, I need book 1 and 2 to finally get into the story. And then the final section for my adult and fantasy sci-fi, we've got The Martian, which has been on my TBR for a bit now, and I need to put it back. as well as Artemis by the same author, Andy Weir. And then we've got a bunch of other books that I'm interested in. Age of Ash, I need to really get into. Troy at some point I need to get into, and The Light Struck. I think the premise was interesting to me, so I need to get into that as well. And then over here we've got some graphic novels. So first up we've got a favorite, Saga Volume 1. I still need all the other volumes, which are still very hard to get in this country, so that's not happening yet. And I realized that Exclusive Books doesn't have them anymore, so I keep, every time I go into Exclusive Books, I'm always going to the graphic novel section to check if I can find copies of Saga. No joy. I've got Heartstopper Volume 1 and 4. I had the full Heartstoppers 1, 2, 3 and 4. I got rid of them and now I felt like I needed them again, so I recollected. I've got Law Olympus Volume 1. I still need to get the other volumes because I really enjoyed it. And then we've got Spy Family Volumes 1 and 2. A favorite manga so far, but it's also the only manga I've read. Love the TV series, enjoyed it, super funny, and I can't wait to continue. And then the recent edition is King Shaga. I have not read this one yet. And then we've got a bunch of middle grades. Pages & Co, definitely a favorite middle grade. I read book 1. I haven't read the rest yet, but I will get to it. And then I read The Girl, the Ghost, and the Lost Name, which was also really nice. I read Peanut Jones and the Illustrated City, which was so nice. Let's see, what else did I read? That's all from here. I haven't read this one yet, but I really need to get back to Pages & Co. We've got more Pages & Co here. I was trying to collect all of them in hardcover, but I can't find all of them yet in hardcover, but that is the goal because I love them. They're so pretty, they're so nice. I can't wait for my daughter to read these books. We've got Onyeka at the bottom. We've got A Case of Grave Danger from the Violet Veil Mysteries. I read that. It was enjoyable. I've got J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I need to recollect. Can you see how I don't even have a title on the spine? But I definitely need the whole series because I love Harry Potter and I want to own all of them. I haven't read that Pages & Co. The House with the Chicken Legs, absolutely a fun time. I loved it so much. We've got Amari and the Night Brothers. I still have to read. I still have to read all of James Patterson's Max Einstein. This is also a Max Einstein book that my daughter ripped out the cover. How rude. And then we've got some new ones that I haven't read up there. All right, over to this bookshelf. I've got some clay pieces that we've been making throughout our visits to the Clay Cafe. But this is the view of the bookshelf that's sitting this side. So this one is a bit of a mix. On this side, we've got YA, so I try to do a rainbow shelf as well. It's very difficult when you have to split everything. Do you see how many white books are there? If everything was together, it would look so good, but I wouldn't be able to find anything. So I need to at least keep the genres together. So we've got YA all the way to the bottom. What's at the bottom? More YA. Yeah, so literally this whole column is YA, and it's YA contemporary, it's thrillers, it's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's just general fiction. It's every single piece of YA book I own is on here. And sad to say, I haven't read most of these books, so at some point I need to start getting into my YA again and then just reading through the books. So at a close-up, let's see what we got. We got some Karen M. McManus, which I need to get into all of these. I still need to get the first book in the Holly Jackson, this trilogy. I haven't read Garth Nix yet. I need the rest of Lady Okorafor. I've got book 1, but I need book 2 and 3. I've read Gallant. I have not read the rest of the books there. I need to read Warcross because it's on my unhaul list, because I did make a list at some point of books that I am thinking of unhauling if I don't enjoy the books, or like I'm not thinking about keeping them because I've had it for such a long time and I haven't read it. And then I've got Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. I absolutely loved this book. I love this cover. Like, I feel like the messaging in here was just so good. This is the kind of book that I'll keep forever, so it helps that it's so stunning. Like, look at her, she's so pretty. So yeah, we've got some yellows over here. I have not read any of the yellows. I still need to give Angie Thomas a try. I have not read anything from Angie Thomas, but at some point, like, I was collecting these books and I was like, I need to read Angie Thomas, but I have not yet read Angie Thomas, so I need to get into that. We've got Confessions of a Ginger Pudding, which sounds like it's gonna be a nice time. Let's see what I've read. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea sounds interesting. A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor. This book is so good. It's so good. Like, I had the best time reading it. Like, it was so interesting to me. I just loved it. This side, I've read The Gilded Ones. We all love The Gilded Ones. I haven't read this yet. I need to collect books 1 and 2 from here. I haven't read this one because I realized that it's not the first book in the series, and then this also is the second book in the Hank Green. Like, it's so good. The Eternal Ones I need to get into and finish off the series. And this side, I have not read anything from here. A River of Royal Blood I have read. It had a different cover when I read it, and I thought I was buying book 2, but I ended up having like another copy of book 1, so it's like, it's whatever. I'm keeping this box because I need it for a book photo shoot. And then we've got a bunch of books here. Obviously I've read Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Anguish and Anarchy. And then I've read Raybearer, which I really enjoyed. I read Legendborn, which wasn't as great to me as everybody said it was. I think maybe my expectations going into it was too high, and therefore I felt a little disappointed. And I must say the audiobook was also not very enjoyable, so that could be also part of it. Okay, and then we get to the middle section, which is my thrillers, adult thrillers. I've got a bunch here that the only one I've read is this one here. I haven't read the rest. I have read the Da Vinci Code, I feel, but I don't know if I finished it. I know I've watched the movies, but I need to go back to reading this. And then this side, I've read Mexican Gothic, which I enjoyed. Read Ink, I struggled with a little bit. The Housemaid, absolutely enjoyed. These ones I have not read yet. I still need to get into them. And then down here, finishing off just the thrillers, mystery thrillers that I needed to get to. And then from Learning and Margot, that's all the general fiction because I didn't know where to put them. And this is what I've got. I have not read any of them. I did start Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and I felt that it was so good, but it's also like very touching and emotional. And I stopped it after part 1 because I'm like, oh, I can't handle this right now. And I never went back because I was afraid of feeling stuff. So yeah, I need to go back to this because this book has such great reviews and I want to finish it. So, which means I have to start it again. This is the problem about leaving a book open for too long. And then we've got some interesting titles here, like Olga Dies Dreaming, All Adults Here. I'm really excited to read, hopefully this December. Mame, I need to get to James. I'm really scared of because it's a slave story and I don't do great with slave stories. The Mirror and the Palette is one that I probably have to consume in like really tiny bite sizes because I don't think it's a kind of novel that you can read from start to end like in one go. I've had Rebecca Mackay for so long, like ever since I started on this Booktube, Bookstagram journey. Like this book was popular then. I got it because of its popularity, but I don't even know what it's about. We've got People Person by Candice Carty-Williams. Evie Drake Starts Over is one that also interested me at some point. To Paradise also really scares me because of the size, and considering that I'm somebody who reads a lot of fantasy and sci-fi, I'm used to giant books like this, but this is not fantasy sci-fi. Do you understand? And Hanyaya Nagihara is well known for writing a very, very, like, the saddest book out there, and I don't want a chunky book like this that's just sad. So I don't know what's in here, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid. And then down here we've got some classics as well as translated works, courtesy of Katleho, who is just filling my bookshelf. So first of all, we've got The Goodbye Cat, which I got this from Penguin, and I'm really looking forward to it because I think it's gonna be interesting, because it's stories, I think it's a collection of short stories told from the perspective of cats, which I'm just like, interesting. We've got Shoko Smile. I really like this cover. This is from Katleho. And then we've got some classics. We've got Jane Eyre and this beautiful copy of Sense and Sensibility. I've got Pride and Prejudice on my book cart because I want to pick that up sometime this year still. We've got Sugar Bean Paste. Also really like this like pastel type of cover. I don't know who those people are, but looking forward to reading this one. And then recently she gave me Expectation by Anna Hope, and she gave me Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi, which I also don't know what they're about, but I'm just gonna close my eyes and try the process. And then we've got a popular one, Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, who is the author of the book Before the Coffee, what was called? What is the name of the first book? Before the Coffee Gets Cold. That is true. I don't know why I doubted myself just then. And then we've got a nice copy of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And then we've got Wayward, which was a favorite read for me last year. We've got The Prophets, which is another one that's like slave stories, but apparently it's so good. And I've got Ready the Bone by Jacqueline Whitson, which is also another book that was popular when I started with Bookstagram, Booktube. And we've got Book Girls Must Be Magic, and then we finish off this section with When Women Were Dragons. So yeah, this is kind of like the translated work slash classic slash fiction that I could not fit anywhere else. And while we are here on the ground, let's look at some non-fiction. This is the only section, oh well, except for what's by the coffee table. But this is what we got in terms of non-fiction. We've got Barack Obama, A Promised Land. We've got Michelle Obama, Becoming and The Light We Carry. We've got Gabrielle Union. You got Anything Stronger. We've got Will by Will Smith and Mark Manson. We've got The Myth of Normal by Gabor Mate with Daniel Mate. And then we've got What Happened to You by Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey, which I started listening to and I thought it was so good and informative. But also it's not one that I feel like you could read from start to finish for me specifically, because I don't do nonfiction. I don't do nonfiction. And then we've got A Short History of Humanity, because I felt that this is an interesting title for me. I love learning about people and what, like, the human, well, this is probably not the human mind, but it's more of a history of humans. Like, I find those kind of things interesting. We've got Dr. T's A Guide to Sexual Health and Pleasure. I haven't opened this book. I think the day that I did open it, I was just like, oh, the font is so tiny, and then I closed it. And then I never opened it again. We've got Touch compiled by Tiffany Kagure-Mugo and Kim Vogel. And then we've got Kinky Roots, a memoir by Ingrid Arlington. And over here with all the hearts, we've got one shelf just dedicated to romances, because also I don't have a lot of romances. We do have Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I really enjoyed. Take a Hint, Denny Brown. I started it, didn't really enjoy it, and I closed it because I was like, I'm not liking this. We've got Tia Williams, which I haven't tried. Sweet Hand, Love on the Brain, which I haven't read. And then behind this one, we've got I Look For You Everywhere, another Tia Williams, 7 Days in June, which got a lot of people talking when it came out. We've got The Thing with Zola by Zibi Sotola, as well as I Do Don't I. We've got The Pairing by Casey McQuiston, which is a new release. We've got At Your Age, Eve Brown, which is a lot of people's favorites, from Talia Hibbert. We've got Love and Color, which needs no introduction. And we've got Loath to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. And just in the front, I've got Fair Rosaline. And this is by Natasha Solomon. This is a retelling of, I guess, Romeo and Rosaline, or Rosaline, before there was Romeo and Juliet. So I'm interested to see what that story is about. And then the rest of this, we've got African diaspora. That's what we got. And as you can see, let me move backward so you can see how many African books I have, because I all like books by people of color, and more especially from the African diaspora, that I've been collecting, because I'm like, I want to read these stories. But clearly, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I don't read them as often as I want to, but I need to make better. So starting off this side, we've got Daughters of Nandi by Nokuthula Msimang. We've got Under the Udala Trees by Chinelo Paranta. I should probably start there. We've got Brett Simmons, The Secret Lives of Bagasegi's Wives, Sankofa, The City Is Mine. We've got The Madhouse, The Son of the House. We've got Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, The Thing Around Your Neck. We've got this tiny little skinny book. This is my first poetry collection, because I don't have any poetry collection, and I think I mentioned probably in one of my videos that I really enjoy spoken poetry. I used to enjoy spoken poetry, but I never really gave written poetry a try, and I saw this one by Ben Okri called Mental Fight, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. We've got The First Women. We've got Homegoing Finally by Yagyasi. We've got Years of Fire and Ash, which is more like a political story. We've got Black and Female by Tisidan Garekba. We've got Simpiwe Gloria Grovu's The Quality of Mercy. And of course, the front-facing book is Patience is a Subtle Thief by Abi Ishola Ayodeji. And I'm like, this cover is beautiful. It's beautiful, that's all I know. We've got The Old Drifts by Namwali Sapel. We've got Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardina Evaristo. This one also got a lot of people talking when it came out. We've got Freshwater by Ekweke Mezi, which is a well-loved book. We've got In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. We've got Nearly All Men Are in Lagos Are Crazy by Damilare Kuku. We recently read Only Big Bum Bums Matter Tomorrow. We've got Wired to Moors, The Dragon, The Giant, and The Women. We've got Resurrection by Sikwabe. Here Comes the Sun. I started this one, and there was a trigger in here, and then I closed it. But I want to go back to it. We've got Helen Oyemi's What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours. My favorite by Chimamanda, Half of a Yellow Sun. Always love this book. We've got About Two Knots by Lebo Mazibuko. I Did Not Die by Debelo Mzamo. The Shadow King by Maza Mengiste. I started this one, got about halfway, but it was quite slow, and I think I got exhausted by it. But the content was so interesting to me. Like, I found myself stopping to do research and spend an hour reading through articles and things like that, because the premise of it is very interesting to me. I think the execution of it is quite, it's like it's not easily accessible. So I will go back, I will read it, we'll try again. We've got The 100 Wells of Salaga by Aisha Haruna Atta. We've got A Burning by Mega Majumdar. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't know what this book is about, but I feel like I saw it somewhere and I was like, oh, okay, pick it up. We've got This Mournable Body by Titi Dangarekba. We've got Delawit's Destiny by Tomi Obaro. We've got The Soft Life by Lebhang Mosango. I spoke about Only Big Bum Bum. Matters Tomorrow. This was a book club read for the last 2 months. We've got Yinka, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Damilora Blackburn. We've got A Soft Landing by Wisani Mushwana. I heard Fufu say that she enjoyed this one. We've got a Black Consciousness, a life story by Lubelo Biko. And then we've got a few here. We Need New Names by Novalet Bolawayo. This is a book that I borrowed from my aunt, which I need to read and take back and not be one of those people who borrows books forever. We've got The Gold Diggers by Sunyati, which is very popular. Dreaming in Color by Uvi Letumba. The End by Dudu Busani Dube. I have to go back to the beginning and get the rest of the books. Things My Mother Left Me by Puranim Lilo Mpondo. This book has such beautiful photos inside, like it's just representing motherhood and womanhood and Africanism. It's beautiful. We've got His Only Wife by Peace Adzomedi. We've got In the Midst of It All by Tabile Shange. The Wanderers by Mputumin Aveni. The Scandalous Times of a Book Loss by Robert Muponde. Like, the synopsis of this is so funny. It is so funny. Which is why I need to go into it. We've got Transcendent Kingdom by Yagiasi. We've got Pieces by Helen Onyemi. Scatterlings by Rishuketsui Manenze. We've got Love Mary King, which is a new edition that I received from Kwela Books, an imprint of NB Publishers. This is by Zuki Swa Warner. We've got The Theory of Flight and The History of Man by Sipiwe Gloria Nkovu. And on this side, to finish off, we've got Lagos Noir, which is a collection of short stories edited by Chris Abani. We've got The Death of Vivek Oji by Akweke Emezi, needs no introduction. We've got How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her Yard by Cherry Jones, which I feel the title is just so interesting. We've got An Angel's Demise, which is a historical fiction by Sunyati. And then finally, we've got When the Village Sleeps by Sindiwe Magona. So guys, this is the bookshelf. This is the bookshelves. I did a bit of a scroll of the book cart yesterday, so I'm not gonna go through this right now. I'll just pan over it. I've got my diamond painting that I need to get into. I'm just gonna turn this around so I can just show you the books that I've got here at the back. But these are the 2 library books, and then SCARD, I'm gonna read this year. So yeah, this book cart has books that are on my radar to read for the rest of this year. I'm not gonna be doing any more TBR videos because I just did a massive one, and that's gonna be that, maybe the December one, we'll see. But yeah, this is the fantasy sci-fi section again, just one last view. I've got my lights over there that I'll put up on the shelf so that we can have a little bit of a twinkle when it's evening time. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this bookshelf reorganization video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, I do reorganize my bookshelves probably like every quarter. And if you would be interested in me documenting this every single time, let me know also down below if you saw any of your favorite books on my shelves or books that you're excited to hear me talk about. I would love to know in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Blowing your kiss. Mwah.